Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Salty Saturday, Week 2 edition. I am Donde, and I am back again with Dano. Dano, how are you doing tonight?
Good, good. Just frantically trying to find my the mute button so I could talk. Doing great. Doing real good. How about you?
Yeah, can't complain. Had a good Saturday. Didn't do much, so just kind of ready for some Hearthstone. At least ready to watch it, not necessarily play it, because that ain't going so hot for me. Slight improvement over last week. I don't know how you're faring.
I have not played. I'm playing both my matches after we're done here, so I will. We'll find out later. I'm my legacy. I won a legacy last week and lost in hero last week, so 50-50 right now. We'll see how that changes today.
Oh,
So
buddy, I got swept. Or, I mean, I didn't get swept, but I lost all three series for the first time, I think, in my life last week. So that was a humbling experience. But shout out to the people who beat me, because yeah, that was not good. But hey, that's not what it's about tonight. It's about four players who probably should, be talked about a little bit here, since we're going to be seeing them this evening. First match is
yes,
going to be Mojopowell of Defias Brotherhood versus Gkick of Mrgl. This is an exciting one because this series is tied up at 8-8 right now, so this is a very important match. And as you can see on the screen, they both banned Warrior, not really surprising. So we're going to see Demon Hunter, Hunter, and Warlock for Mojo versus Demon Hunter, Hunter, and Rogue for Gkick. What do you think about that matchup there, Dano, in a conquest setting?
I think it's gonna really matter on the warlock and the hunter there for I think it was G
Yeah, the Warlock is on Mojo's side.
Mojo. Sorry, Mojo. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't have the matchups up. I had the
That's okay.
the players up. Sorry. Yeah, because of depending if it's control warlock and Highlander hunter, that's just not gonna look good against demon hunter, and depending on how quickly that first win comes. I don't necessarily like that matchup very much. Warlock is probably more likely going to be Zoo, if I were to guess, but
Probably.
um, you never kind of tell. Both are good and have good matchups and bad matchups. So we'll see. So yeah, the Warlock pick is going to be kind of tough for me. I kind of give it to GK just because of the Warlock brain, to be honest.
Yeah, Warlock's a powerful deck, Zoo Warlock particularly, if that's what we see. But it does have the tendency to brick at times. You don't draw the Hand of Gul'dan, you don't draw, Imp on time, and sometimes you can just kind of get left out in the cold with a lot of really weak minions. So it'll be interesting to see if it does get off the ground, so to speak, for Mojo. But it is a strong deck. I think you're right. It has a lot of potential. So the second match we're going to see tonight is a hero match, last hero standing. That is JR Juggerlov, Tan Pam's Surf Slam versus Anfall of License to Illidan. And this one, unfortunately, not as exciting match-wise, as License to Illidan has won the week so far at 14-8. This will be the fifth match of that series. But still, every point matters, so it'll be a hard-fought match nonetheless, I would imagine. Shout out to JR. He beat me in Conquest last night, and that one was a good series. So I'm sorry, it was not it was Conquest. It was Pro, not Legacy. So hopefully, not going to show any caster bias. But on top of that, Anfall is my teammate. It's a full disclosure there. But yeah, we'll have to wait till we get into that one. But these guys are itching to go here in game one, and I'm ready to see what they decide to bring. So I'm gonna let them know that we're ready to go, and we'll talk about that second match when we get to it a little bit later tonight.
Great.
So we'll have Mojo on the bottom and Gkick on the top.
All right. Wait for them to kick off here.
They have been notified, and we will jump in when they are ready. So any big matches this week surprising you in any of the series, Legacy, Hero, anything that you've seen that has been kind of not what you've expected so far?
I haven't been able to follow anything yet, to be completely honest with you. Between just prepping for a few shows, I think Itachi losing in Legacy for the second week in a row caught me off guard. I would say we saw him last week get swept, which was a bit surprising, and then I'll be honest, and seeing him lose again this week, early on in the week, that was what I just lost the match. Okay,
All right,
sorry about that.
that's okay. Just getting our second spec up here. We see the what appears to be Face Hunter from Mojo. It is a Hunter Mirror match.
The fires of vengeance burn bright.
Hard to tell. So there it is. All right, we're going to see a Face Hunter Mirror match. This one's going to burn it down.
Move now.
Oh, Gkick kicked me out, so I must have dropped out of the game. That's what happened. Alright, so I don't have Gkick. I got Mojo.
I'll tell you what, both hands look pretty similar. Well, they did until this turn here, but as you can see, we've got a Battle Mage on each side of the board, and now Kobold Sand Trooper on each side. That's where Deviates. Gkick's got a Kill Command in hand, Scrap Shot, and an Arcane Shot, where you can see Mojo's got Explosive Trap, Stone Tusk Boar, and Dwarven Sharpshooter. So Gkick seems like he's a little bit better set up for future turns, whereas Mojo is looking for a little bit more here. He's going to use the Sharpshooter to at least clear off Gkick's Kobold Sand Trooper and leave his alive to do a little bit of chip damage before it inevitably dies as well. Interesting move here is Gkick uses the Arcane Shot to get rid of the Sand Trooper, stop the repeat damage, but every bit of damage is valuable in this matchup, especially since we probably won't see it go past like turn 6 or 7.
I would imagine not. This is kind of unlike other aggro matchups, which can go a little bit longer because you're trying to control board to such a crazy extent. Both players, in the way that they do control board, just control board by also going face, so it can get pretty nuts for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to be the person who ends up having to be reactive if you can avoid it. We saw Gkick use the Scrap Shot there with the Phase Stalker in hand, so that thing's going to be a 5/6 when it hits board, I presume, next turn. And now Mojo uses tracking. He's going to pick the Eaglehorn Bow. Probably a little bit late for Phase Stalker. Plus, he's got the Explosive Trap in hand. So he's probably feeling like, you know what, it doesn't have as much value at this point. I'd rather take the immediate damage. A great pickup for Gkick as he picks up the second Blazing Battle Mage, which allows him to nicely fill out the curve here and hero power and still use all his mana. So I like where Gkick's at. He's got enough damage in hand, I feel like, to be to potentially just end this game here within the next 2 turns. So he's down to 12 right now.
And Felmon knew where the place was.
That does change the scope of this quite considerably now, as Mojo is going to hit here and receive Dragon's Bane.
Yeah, there's the one place to go. Oh, it missed.
So now Gkick is going to have to decide between. He's probably got to clear off the Dragon's Bane. It's just, I mean, he's got to clear off both of these minions, because if he even leaves the 5 to him, he's just dead to hero power.
Tough spot to be in, that's for sure.
Very tough spot. And even with the hero power here, as we talked about, this is where Gkick had to turn into the reactionary player, and he fell behind Mojo. And it looks like Mojo, he's just going to have...
He's got lethal, right?
Yeah, he's got lethal with Unleash the Hounds, plus Boar, plus hero power, or he can use the Eaglehorn Bow. But he's got to clear the Explosive Trap first, which he knows.
There's always a chance of goofing up the order there, but
Absolutely.
did not, so good job.
Yeah, he had to expect that was an Explosive Trap, and he did it right. And as expected, this game goes 7 turns. That's it for Face Hunter.
Alright, I'm gonna try and leave this game and hopefully get back in.
Okay.
Trying to remember what happened last time, if I had to log out and log back in order to be able to spectate.
Yeah, I think when either there's a freeze or you get kicked, you have to completely exit out of the client, if I remember correctly, in order to make it work.
Yeah.
So we're going to see Gkick run the Face Hunter back, and Mojo is going to play Zulok here. Wolf Rider, Flame Imp, and there's Hand of Gul'dan in the starting hand. That's a pretty good start. Throws back the Flame Imp. Doesn't want to take damage when he knows the Face Hunter is his opponent, but Flame Imp came right back like a boomerang. And Gkick doesn't have, he doesn't have the most aggressive starting hand, but Blazing Battle Mage shows up right on time on turn 1 here to give him the first turn play. Now Mojo probably doesn't want to play that Flame Imp and just have it die and take 3 damage. But second Hand of Gul'dan draw is not ideal, as that's just too many hands. Gul'dan really prefer to only have one of their hands.
Oh, last poor Warlock.
And he does opt to play nothing turn 1. Doesn't feel great, but ultimately might be the right call. Meanwhile, Gkick just plays the Imprisoned Felmaw on 2 again, and now he's got a couple options going into turn 3. But I think that largely he's just going to have to basically react to whatever Mojo decides to do here. Do you think Coin Magic Carpet is the play, or do you go with Wolf Rider here just to clear away the 2/2?
I have no idea. I'm not back in the game yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he went with Magic Carpet. Second Phase Stalker pickup for Gkick. He's going to use the Scavenger's Ingenuity to draw a Stone Tusk Boar, and that lets him clear this Magic Carpet, which got Mojopowell no value whatsoever. And Mojo's in a really rough spot here. That Wolf Rider will clear the board nicely, but yet again, it would be another turn where Mojo does not establish anything on board, and he's going to need to start getting going here at some point.
Yeah, Wolf Rider not really in the deck to charge into another 1-drop, but you can do what you have to do.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the greatest use of it, but it did trade up a little bit, so well, traded up with a 4/4 board rather than a 1/1. And now Gkick pulls what I presume that must be an Explosive Trap. Yes, it is. Out of his deck with the Phase Stalker.
You were just a bird.
Nightshade will draw 3 cards. All right, so you got a lot of charge there. Could start to see some control for Mojo, but is it already too late? I know you sit here and think, well, you've got 19 health, but knowing what the Face Hunter is capable of burst-wise, is it too late at this point for Mojo?
Well, and you also can't. Yeah, probably, probably actually. And with the Explosive Trap up, is that an Explosive Trap? I assume I can't see the trap.
Yes, it's explosive. Can you
so
see the Gkick's hand?
Nope. No, Gkick must have turned Spectate off or something. So, well, still can't get in for Gkick. So I will just cast the one side of the match.
Well, I'll keep letting you know what we see up there. So he played this Dwarven Sharpshooter. He picked up Dragon's Bane off the tracking there.
And that looks like it is probably all over but the crying for Mojopowell in this match.
I mean, he can nuke the entire board right here if he uses the Wolf Rider. So that is certainly something he can do, but then you leave yourself with essentially almost nothing on board, nothing that will live through an Explosive Trap anyway. And with Dragon's Bane likely coming down next turn, that is pretty much it.
Yeah, when you're using your damage as removal, usually, it's not necessarily ideal.
I got you, friend.
So Mojo does manage to actually, he opts not to use the Stone Tusk Boar, which is probably just going to end this game here.
I think he just...
I think he had lethal if he played the boar plus the kill command. Boar plus kill command would have been 5 to face, Boar would have been 6, hero power would have been 8, and yeah, the Blazing Battle Mage that was alive would have been 10, so it would have been lethal there for Gkick if he had played that instead. Though, I do not believe it will come
Don't think it's going to matter.
Yes.
Don't think it's going to matter.
Because that same play is available this very next turn, and if he didn't see it that time, I guarantee he's going to see it this time.
I mean, we can be honest here, right? Like, Gkick could just hero power 4 times in a row and pass, and still win this match.
Certainly.
So,
yeah, he played against Zoo Warlock, and Zoo Warlock did 0 damage.
Yep. Definitely not how you want it to go, but matched up at 1.
Oh my god, I forgot to transition the screen for that one, so we radio called that entire game. I apologize.
I love it. It's like we're both like playing the same. I was radio calling it, you were radio calling it.
So Zoo Warlock, to be quite frank, you guys didn't really miss much. Zoo kind of whiffed on its draws there. He did have Hand of Gul'dan, but he just never got established.
There we go.
So we're going to see Demon Hunter versus Rogue for this this game 3.
You're back.
This ends now!
There we go. I got both games, so Gkick sent me an invite, and now we are good to go. Secret Galakron Rogue, no surprise from Gkick.
And this, so double Frozen Shadow Weaver in the Demon Hunter for Mojopowell. I think I've seen a lot of builds where they run one Frozen Shadow Weaver, especially if it's the lower curve version. But I don't recall ever seeing both, in one deck.
It actually surprised me to quite an extent, actually. I was looking at it like, am I this far out of like the meta? I'm like, oh my goodness, what have I done?
I guess if you're expecting aggressive lineups, expecting Face Hunter, etc., it could be a reasonable inclusion. This is it definitely seems like more of a matchup based call in a Conquest lineup. Like I don't think you would run this on ladder or anything like that. That seems like that's definitely something specific to a tournament setting.
I am curious for sure. I actually just looked up it up on HS Replay because that just surprised me. And there are a number of lists with double Frozen Spellweaver.
Well, I've yet to come across
all of them with big win rates. So, I mean, it could just be that Demon Hunters go with everything. You just put in Demon Hunter cards, and you can add some other neutrals if you want to, and it's still going to be awesome. But, but yeah.
So Gkick here, he was kind of holding the backstab, waiting for a higher value target, like than the Battle Mage, and he ends up getting rewarded by having the 4/2 Satyr be the target here, and he gets some lackeys out of it with the Evil Miscreant. So here comes Frozen Shadow Weaver numero uno.
Is it cold in the shadows?
And then we'll see that damage go face from Mojo. So Gkick's got a little bit of an interesting hand here. Like I like the Seal Fate, that's just perfect for the 4/3. He's got Edwin. It seems like that's probably just fine as like a 6/6 next turn, I would imagine.
With the evasive snap pick, I don't know.
That was a very.
Malagos was definitely not the pick, but I thought there was a
Is it cold?
Dragon that fit better in the curve there. Might have thought about that for a second. But I mean, this will make Mojopowell go through it the hard way, so I think it's probably just a fine pickup. So.
And Mojo does have the ability to guarantee Skull of Gul'dan active on turn 6 if he plays Warglaves next turn. Then just gets rid of the second slice once he is ready to use the Skull. So that's kind of a nice spot to be in, and we are going to see the 6/6 Edwin. That's I think completely fine as part of a lackey turn here.
Yep, I think so as well.
The Warglaves come down with the second slice, and it's going to be able to clear a big chunk of this board. So he takes 6 from the Edwin. So even though the Edwin never attacked, it still actually got home.
Which I know. I mean, if your Gkick is probably not how you would prefer it, but you know, damage is damage.
Yeah, you'd rather get rid of it now instead of letting it go and hit you more than once possibly. I find it interesting he left the Titanic Lackey up because that would have enabled the Togwaggle play. He's rewarded though, however, his Gkick does not have the Togwaggle. I guess, you know, he probably figured, whatever, he's probably got a Lackey in hand. Or, no, he didn't have a Lackey in hand at that point.
He didn't have a Lackey in hand.
Picked up the Witchy Lackey this turn. So it was a very risky play.
Yes, but no risky skipper though because we don't have the double warrior band today. So, and I imagine there's only one card to play on turn 6 if you're a demon hunter. Skull of Gul'dan, alas, poor warlock, and 3 free cards, including one that draws another card. Seems pretty good.
And picks up the Satyr Overseer as well. So, you know, Gkick was able to handle that first Satyr Overseer, and you'd really like to have seen it get down into play here with the Warglaves if you're Mojopowell, since, you know, multiple Satyrs in one turn is rarely bad, but he's able to clear the board now. He's got a Battle Fiend that's a little bit threatening, and we'll see how Gkick responds. Here comes Shield to Galakron.
Double time and double pay.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading chat and it kind of caught me off guard.
A lot of energy being thrown around.
Lot of energy to
Lot of energy.
Gkick right now. Just all the energy to Gkick.
If only they had thrown some energy to me to remind me to change scenes. That would have been ideal, but hey, that's my fault. I apologize.
You know, it's all part of the flavor, I think.
It happens like once a week. It's kind of getting irritating at this point.
Your feeble magic.
But here comes the evasive Draconid, and that's a scary proposition here for a Demon Hunter with 13 health and no way to take it out without just giving up his entire board, or actually Glavebound Adept requires you to attack into it.
Yep.
So that's not really great if you want to live, which I think at this
Doing
point,
it anyways, just face tanking that 7.
You know what Mojo says? If I'm going to die from 13, I'm going to die from 6. So it might as well use it now and see if I can turn this game around. So I think that's actually not the worst idea in the world.
Yeah, we've already seen one eviscerate, so not a lot of burst anymore from Rogue.
Nope, Leroy's
now
gone.
that, yep.
Rip Leroy.
Burn away to ash.
And mana burn, of course, because you know, why would your opponent need all their mana?
So the thing about mana burn to me there is that it still drops you to 7. So if Gkick wanted to play Galakron, he can still play Galakron and get 2 free cards this turn anyway. So I don't know if I think I might value just getting the 2 damage from Blazing Battle Mage on the field a little bit more, because that would put you at 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 17, plus he's got 18 for the weapon, 19 for hero power. So that means you've got a decent chance at top decking something for lethal if you top deck like your second Glavebound Adept. But it does not.
Sorry about that candlestick. When we get there, the game's a little bit hard to see. Yeah. Well, oops. But the mana burn ended up working out on 9 mana. He would have been able to get Kronks down and clear the board, and wasn't able to get Kronks down. So I think in the end it ended up being an okay play. But yeah, I don't know if it was ideal. So
I grow impatient.
In comes the Glavebound Adept, and yeah, at this point, Mojo really just needs to end the game. There's only 3 damage showing on board, so as far as he's concerned, he might be safe here.
a little surprised we didn't see the Wasteland come down last turn, but maybe we didn't. It was probably a mana issue, though, wasn't it? Because we only had 7 mana, so couldn't clear the board and play the Wasteland stealthy duder assassin. So
yeah, that's it was a bit of a tough spot, and Gkick was thinking the same thing as I was talking about with Mojo. Is he's looking for how does Mojo what cards can he have that ends up killing me, and he's probably just trying to say I got to clear the board here, or I could just very well be dead from 20 health.
Yep.
Oh, there's the Eviscerate!
Oh, there's the second Eviscerate.
What a top deck. That is... He had no other answer.
Wow.
And that is game 3.
And
Rogue
we're just
guts it out.
flying through them here.
Both these players are also playing quite quickly, to be honest.
Wow. So let's, holy smokes, we're just firing through them, huh?
Yeah, that is 3 games in a 30-minute span. Well, technically 20
I can
minutes.
appreciate that kind of Hearthstone. You know, just, in and out, just to take care of business. Ooh, the Demon Hunter Mirror. I can't imagine we're going to see anything other than a Negro Demon Hunter Mirror here. So,
I would imagine so. Yeah, it's Battle Fiend,
Yep.
Warglade. Yeah, these are all aggressive cards for the most part. Gkick seems to have the better of it hand-wise at this point, because he's going to have that Battle Fiend to play on 1, and if he really wants to, he can go ahead and coin out and just make that thing near invincible with Beaming Sight.
yep. I like that play quite a bit.
And so does he.
That's what we do. Yep. You know what's really good? Totem Golem. Not Totem, sorry. A Tunnel Trog. Tunnel Trog. Very good.
I think the
Gotta love a Tunnel Trog.
big thing that really enabled that play to me, though, is the fact that Mojo didn't have a turn 1 play. You know, he didn't have anything that he could put on board that would really punish it. And I mean, I guess you top deck I-Beam or make sure it's in the outside of your hand, and he can go ahead and clear that with face plus I-Beam. But here we see that is not the case, and Gkick is establishing himself very quickly.
Wow, that's just... I mean, this is pretty crazy.
Rip that Umberwind
And if you
down
can
the top.
control board like this, you're gonna be in a really, really good spot. So,
Altruist, though, that's a card that can
everything's
back.
His weakness.
Yep. Yeah, that changes everything, doesn't it?
So the problem here is Mojo still doesn't have any really effective cards to use with it. You know, that one mana cost card being Sidekick is stuck in the middle of the hand right now, and Skull of Gul'dan is stuck further in the hand in order to enable the cheaper draws. So it still doesn't feel like Altruist on his own is enough.
The fires of vengeance.
Boy, this is a
Yeah.
tough spot to be in for sure.
I think Mojo's doing the only thing he can, and that's play what he's got in his hand that he can afford. So he's going to go ahead, he's going to drop the Blazing Battle Mage, he's going to give it the extra health here with the Sidekick, and wow, this is still Gkick knows he's got the initiative right now, and he's going to keep pouring the pressure on.
And I mean, you can clear off the Tunnel Trog there, but it's just going to take a little bit of your life. Like 8. Or are we trading with a minion?
We are
Wow, okay. Okay. Trying to figure out if we want to take that 2 more or not. I would say probably should.
How not to.
Okay.
I think the question to me is...
I think he's thinking about Altruist next turn, maybe?
Well,
That's the-
Altruist is largely dependent on what he draws, but at this point, he needs to be able to kill everything on board now. Probably not much he can do here. As I say, I mean, maybe a Frozen Shadow Weaver the 6/4, but what do you do? At best, you're just kind of delaying your death. Skull of Gul'dan probably has to be played here, and then you just kind of hope you pull Miracles.
Yeah, I think Miracles. I think that's what you're looking for here.
Yeah, I mean, what could he
Think you
even
just-
pull? What could he even pull from the skull at this point?
Is it cold in the
I
shadows?
don't really know, to be honest. I think
The fires of
I mean I don't think Mojopowell had a great chance anyways, but clearing those 2 minions off, the 2 1/1s, they were to keep on coming face anyways, so there didn't really there was no reason really not to kill them last turn.
Yeah, now this turn, I don't know
Possess
what the decision
true
was
power.
to
You possess
kill
true
that.
power.
They're gonna emote back at each other, of course. And that's enough for Gkick he has the Twin Slice in hand, and he's going to have 5 damage plus that 1/1 that stayed alive. And that is game 4, and that is the series, as Mrgl and Gkick will take it 3-1.
Congratulations to Gkick. Took a bunch of energy and it did him well, so.
A very fast series, a lot of aggressive decks, and decks that, some curved well, some did not. But, we talked about the Warlock in the lead-up, and it just did not get going.
Yeah, it never really happened, and then in the more tempo-based matchups, just kind of Mojo seemed to always be on the back foot, which isn't a good place to be. So, yeah, it wasn't great. It didn't happen, but I think Gkick played really well and knew exactly what the plan was and executed it.
Yeah,
really well.
I will say I agree with that for sure. I mean, I don't think Mojo played particularly poorly either. He definitely had a few turns where there's some little mistakes that could have maybe extended his life a little bit more, but I don't know if it was necessarily going to alter the entirety of the results there in the series. And I will say, outside of the miss lethal for Gkick, which in no way mattered because he had the exact lethal the next turn. That is it. So I honestly didn't expect the series to be over this quickly, so I'm going to have to let Anfall and JR know that they can go early if they're ready. So hopefully we don't have to fill time for 25 minutes here while they they come online. So
I mean, if we have to, I can just start singing songs, which I mean, I'm not a very good singer, but
I'll let you know if
I'm
we
also
get to
not
that point.
Also not going to say no. So actually, I would say no. I would definitely say no.
Hey man, you do you, but while I'm letting these guys know here that they can start to get into the game and ban up a little bit, what are your thoughts here? Have you been following the hero meta at all these first few weeks?
I have been following the hero meta to such an extent that I found the entire hero series to be bonkers good this season. It is. It's just there's not an easy match any week, right? And not there's ever an easy match ever in THL really, but there are sometimes there are weaker matchups and sometimes there are more difficult ones. Every week is just bonkers. It looks like. I mean, everybody is crazy experience. Everybody in the league at this point or the series. My bad. Sorry, hat. And it's just 5-1, and every team seems to be just insanely good. So it's you know what? Every week is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. But as far as the meta is concerned, I haven't been able to follow as close as I would like. I noticed I am maybe the only person who didn't bring Demon Hunter. Oh, nope, I'm not. Oh, that's me again.
Oh, you saw yourself on the other side as you scrolled down? Yeah, when I was talking about stuff on Hearth Center the other night, I did the exact same thing.
There actually are. So last champ and 9 Eyebrows didn't as well. But the first person I didn't see was me again. I was like, oh, Dano. Oh, that's me.
Oh, man. It's funny because, like I said, I can relate.
It's been that kind of week, I would say. I was up till about 2 in the morning, Thursday night / Friday morning, actually doing real work, which is less than ideal. So if that gives you any idea of how work is going, and Hearthstone is going. But I got some playing time in this week, which was great. But I got to play a lot of my decks, and yeah, I'm happy with my decks that I brought. So, is Anfall in the game yet? I'm pretty sure I'm friends with Anfall, and I don't see him.
Yeah, I messaged him on Discord because he said he can give me 2 minutes to get on, so he should be on his way shortly. Thankfully, it's always a little awkward when a series does end that quick, and players are scheduled for tentatively 9, and if it's 9:05, 9:10, that's usually not a problem. They'll hang around, but when it's a half hour early, usually there's a reason they schedule at 9. It's because they're not available before that. So 9 Eastern, I should say. But
I'm gonna go get some water real quick while we're in the middle here. Would you mind if I go ahead and do that real quick?
No, go right ahead, and I will monologue while you're gone here. So we are trying to get the bands obviously to understand exactly what the landscape of this second match is going to be, and it is going to be Last Hero Standing instead of Conquest. So for those who are not as familiar with Last Hero Standing, instead of winning with each of your decks that's not banned, you just have to not lose with each of your decks that's not banned. So the winning player will remain on the same deck throughout the course of the match until they lose with it. So it is a different, very, very different type of series than Legacy, where or Conquest, I should say, where you can win with on the back of one very powerful deck, and we're gonna see Demon Hunter, Hunter, Rogue, Warrior versus Demon Hunter, Hunter, Priest, Warrior for Anfall. So Priest tends to be a little bit more of like a counter pick in these lineups, targeting something specific in the other player's lineup, maybe only for like a one match specific, or one game out of the match specifically. But I think we're probably gonna end up seeing either a Demon Hunter or a Warrior get banned. Would be my guess here.
Back now, and I would assume it'll be probably Warrior, right?
Yeah, it tends to be the safe bet in these lineups, but Demon Hunter can just take over a game. I guess it really depends on what you read your opponent has. As brought in, it's very, very tough a lot of the times with a last hero standing lineup.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue right now with the meta and playing in Hero is last hero standing is such a different animal, right? And it really does pay off to know your matchups really, really well and how you fare against them, and that really is all about practice. And if you know, especially if you have a strength with one deck or another, if you can somehow convince a ban one way or the other based on your what you're bringing, you might be able to high roll either a Warrior ban where you don't have the strength with Warrior but you do with Demon Hunter or vice versa. So that can feel really bad if you ban the wrong one and your opponent's just crazy good at Warrior or crazy good at Demon Hunter, and then they just sweep you with it because those are two crazy good decks. Did I lose you? Or did my...
You did not. My daughter was having a bit of a freak out because she couldn't find our cats.
That's a good reason, though. Where's Perry?
And by freak out, I mean she was calmly asking me why she couldn't say goodnight to the cats.
Yeah, I can see that.
They probably, if I had to guess, bailed under the couch.
As where cats tend to go. My sister has 2 cats and 4 children. And before the world ended, I would go and babysit for them once a month. Oh, yes, Dean, I can lower my voice. We put on Littlefoot, and Dean has asked me to lower my voice, so I'm going to get closer to the microphone so that he can relax and watch some Littlefoot.
This has turned into Dadstone, which I fully appreciate.
We've recently rediscovered Land Before Time and its plethora of spin-off movies, and so...
How many Galvadons?
Exactly. So we just got a 7-day free subscription trial to HBO Go, and we're just really hoping that in 7 days we've forgotten about Littlefoot again. So, because I don't want to pay $15 a month. Because all of the Land Before Time movies are on HBO for some reason. So yeah, it's fatherhood, I guess, but they're cute movies though, so we could be watching dumber things, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no, my daughter's been doing the Moana thing lately, so we've watched that at least 7 or 8 times the last few days.
Moana, nice. I can get behind that though. That's a good one. I like it. So we watched The Good Dinosaur today, which if you haven't watched it is wonderful, and also I'm talking too loud again, and also tear-jerkingly sad at parts. So so yeah, I definitely. But Moana is one of my favorites right now. I think it's super cute. We watched Frozen 2 the other day. Very good. Yeah,
that's in rotation for sure.
Yep. Yep. It's I enjoyed it as far as Disney sequels go. I would say it's pretty much spot on. Not really good, definitely not bad. It's just fine movie that you can turn your brain off.
That does tend to be the case with a lot of the Disney sequels. Is they're like, all right, we got a really popular, brand here. We got a really popular, initial movie, and then we're gonna cash in on it. Yeah. Not necessarily hit as well as we did in the first one, but
yeah.
I'll never forgive them for Return of Jafar.
I never actually saw it, but I'm sure it was wonderful. I'm sure it was wonderful. Yeah, it seems to be the plan for Disney sequels seems to be how good can we make this without taking any chances whatsoever? Because we want them to keep on buying our stuff. So we want to make sure this movie is perfectly mediocre. Like, good enough where they watch it a couple times and continue to buy our stuff, but we don't want to take any chances and have it be, not good.
They do the same thing with video games, because that's what happened with Kingdom Hearts, too.
Oh, well, Kingdom Hearts is always weird. I never actually played it, but the most recent one was a bust, I guess. That's too bad. I've been playing the new Final Fantasy VII, which is a dream. It is wonderful.
I'm close to platinuming it right now, actually.
Nice. Yeah, we moved, and so I've actually gone like a week and some change without playing it, and because I haven't got my PS4 hooked up since we moved, so it's been like 2 weeks now, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to remember how to play the game when I finally get this thing hooked back up again. So it's actually on my list of things to do tonight, I think. So
I beat the alternate super boss today, which I won't say anything further because
Thank you.
But suffice to say, it was not the hardest fight, even in its string of fights. So
Interesting.
I will
I've been impressed with the difficulty of the bosses. I think I've been really enjoying the difficulty of the bosses. Oh, we have some spectate things
We are
up.
about to go. Yeah, they got ready to go real fast. So they're double warrior band, by the way. Thanks for listening to Dad and Other Video Game Stone while we try to kill the time here. And thank you to in advance to JR and Anfall for being ready so quick. JR is on the bottom, by the way.
Dare speak
Oh,
to me?
okay. Good to know.
Did I have you backwards?
Well, that's fine. I got. Why is JR not letting me?
You have to be good friends with him in order to spec.
Apparently.
If you're just regular friends, it doesn't work. But I will tell you, we're seeing a Demon Hunter mirror, and it is going to be, again, a true aggressive mirror. And JR has Crimson Sigil Runner, and it's in the right spot on his hand, all the way on the left. So he's going to be able to play that here as we start.
They will never
And get a card out of it as well. Yeah, Satyr Overseer is what you like to see.
Alright, I sent a message to JR. Just let me text it.
Oh, yeah. Anfall has, he does have an option here. He's got 2 Satyrs of his own in
Oh.
his hand. But if he would like to, he can go ahead and play this Battle Fiend out and then coin hero power. It's really aggressive, but it would end up killing the 2/1 and leaving his Battle Fiend alive, and especially with, he's got 2 skulls in hand as well.
I have a JR Jugger in my friends list that is totally not JR Juggernaut.
How is that possible? How is that possible?
I'm looking at JR Juggernaut, and then this is playing JR Jugger Law. Okay, I'm apparently not friends with JR
Wait, what?
Jugger Law.
That is
I'm very
exciting.
confused. I think I've always assumed that they're the same person. We have 2 JR somethings in THL.
I did not realize that we did.
I am in a real weird space mentally right now. Just having a crisis. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
Well, JR's being a bro and taking some time with his turns, so he's letting you get it all figured out, which is nice of him. And we're on turn 2 here with Anfall, looking to see what he can realistically really do. It's basically he's hero powering. But does he trade his Battle Fiend here? I think with what he's got in his hand, he probably wants to just go ahead and do that. Yeah, as I say, because if JR has an answer to that Battle Fiend, Anfall is going to get run over in the next few turns here with no board presence of his own. And JR with a perfect pickup here of the Twin Slice to activate the Satyr Overseer immediately.
What is going on? Oh. What?
You figured out?
No, I'm more confused than I was before. Am I protecting the wrong person?
You know what it is?
Oh, I figured it out. I'm protecting the wrong person.
He used to be JR Jugger Law. He used to be JR Juggernaut. Then he was JR Jugger Law. And now he's JR Juggernaut again.
No, so it's the shifted down one for me when I was trying to go to spectate. and the person was playing somebody that was JR something else, and I was like, oh, this must be, it was JR Jose something. So
Blunder.
I am
Junior
friends.
Jose.
It was like the person they were playing. So I was like, oh, I guess JR doesn't have, it's in JR Juggernaut. But I was looking at my friends, so I was like, oh, I must have two different people. And I went and looked in the Hero Series thing, and it was. So I thought I lost my darn mind. I'll be honest with you. And now we're good.
Well, glad to hear we got you back online. And meanwhile, Anfall has a lot of really high cost or awkward cards, and JR doesn't have as many cards, but he's got Skull, and he's got the board. And that's what you're looking for as the Demon Hunter in this matchup. So Anfall is going to really need to have to turn this thing around quickly, but he doesn't really have the tools to do it outside of the Warglaives upcoming, but that's going to be at the expense of a lot of health.
Yeah, and just real quick, since I was losing my mind and was been insane for a short minute, did you shift over the screen again?
Oh, of course. Who does?
Okay, just making sure.
To do that?
Just want to make sure that my insanity didn't infect the entire cast.
No, I had 15 minutes to make sure I got that one right. So yeah, that one ended up being done appropriately for once in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I do appreciate you looking out. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Sorry, just really, I felt like I had gone insane.
No, you've contributed more than you can know just by the reminder, but Anfall picks up a Frenzied Fellwing, and that's not going to help either.
It's not going to really do a lot of good here.
And like we said before, Warglaives can go ahead and clear, but if he does that, he takes 5 damage, so he'll be down to 7, and then he just dies to Glaive Mound at that next turn.
Yep. Which, I mean, yeah, it's going to happen in 2 turns either, so I think you probably clear it, but yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, he's dead either way, because either you take them out with the Warglaives yourself, or they all hit you next turn.
Yep.
So you lose.
Yep.
You just lose at this point, unfortunately, for Anfall.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where you're going to think real long and hard about it, try to figure out the right play, but it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm sure if, you did all the maths and stuff, maybe you would know if it were 100% right here, what their chances were for them to, have drawn, X number of cards. But, yeah, I think you clear it because you can and hope they don't have it. So.
I'd say at the same time, yeah, you don't know that he's got Glaive Mound Adept in hand, but we do, and he's going to find out.
It just didn't matter at all here.
Yeah.
Yep. I think he was dead multiple ways here, really, so.
And there goes, there's game 1, quick one, as the mirror tends to be for Demon Hunter. So JR is up 1-0 really quickly, and we're going to see that Demon Hunter come back, and Anfall will have to figure out a way to counter it. So looking at Anfall's lineup, he's got, I gave JR a win. This is, that's not how Last Hero Standing works, that's how Conquest works.
What happened? Did you say it right? I thought you said it right for Last Hero Standing, didn't you? That we'll see that Demon Hunter again?
I said it right, but then when I updated the graphic, I gave JR a win, and then I did not take away a Deckman fall. So yes, so we're probably going to see, I would imagine, Priest here to counter that Demon Hunter.
Here it is.
There it is.
Now
see the updated graphic.
True strength.
I will prove myself.
And we get that weird little emo moment there between those two characters, and then we get to move on. And we see a bad Albatross. Are we looking? Does this say Res Priest here?
This does seem to be. No, I don't know. I mean, I guess if it's it could just be a little tech. You put in there to throw off the Highlander decks. Like if he's expecting either Highlander Rogue or Highlander Hunter in JR's lineup. That could just be enough to throw it off, but Holy Nova plus Breath of the Infinite is usually a good sign if you're the Priest in the early going, because that handles almost anything that JR is going to be able to put out in the first few turns.
Yep.
And there's a Psycho.
Oh.
So maybe this is like a weird little hybrid?
Is it a Highlander list?
Well, we haven't seen a dupe yet.
Fascinated.
The fires of vengeance burn bright.
I'm just waiting for Ample.
Chad is clearly getting to the point where we're talking about Disney movies at this point. And,
Yeah. Moana soundtrack. S tier. Yeah. I'm with you, Dabs.
Dab is the most correct. 100% correct.
I have no idea what this what's going on here with this list, but I would go ahead and say I would probably just heal my face and move on if I manfall.
That skeletal dragon does tend to lend me towards thinking it's a Highlander list, because I've seen that, and it's a Highlander card primarily. I don't think it gets run in most of the like straight up Gala versions of the deck, or obviously for res purposes. But then we see a second penance, so who the heck knows anymore?
Nope, it's down, left is right. What's Moana without water?
Someone edited it to take out all the parts with water, so like most of the movie.
Okay, sorry, I'm like way into chat right now, so probably this is why I don't keep chat up usually, because I get crazy distracted.
This is how priest games go, though. There's it's not a whole lot that happens in the first few times. So, yeah, Jerry said
very
it's
exciting
like
things here.
5-minute movie without water. Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, all right, I feel like I'll watch that now. A big deal to freeze the priest's face there. You don't want it to go.
Yeah, you don't
want it to go face.
I mean, the
face.
Point,
sorry,
you're just playing a 4/3 at that point, and you don't really care about the effect, I suppose. But Bone Wraith comes down, and that's going to be in the way.
Well, let's say it will probably be in the way twice with the Cycle Pump to follow up.
Yeah, there have been no other minions played, so it is a guaranteed res. Then again, there are 2 skeletal dragons in hand as well.
I grow impatient.
I mean, at this point, really could just kind of wait to play after that when those skeletal dragons goes down.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. If it's in the res,
yeah, 33% chance, right?
Chance.
So,
and everything else in his hand is fairly reactive. Penance, Holy Nova, Breath of the Infinite. Breath of the Infinite, too, should be noted, is not going to hit his own minions with those skeletal dragons or whatever they produce in hand, too, so that is helpful. So you can play a Psycho Pump and not be afraid it's going to immediately die.
Are we just looking at like a dragon priest thing?
This seems like I hate Demon Hunter Priest, I'm going to be honest with you. It seems like a deck
Hey.
that is specifically crafted for this matchup right here. And in Hero, that's a thing you can do. You can say, like, I'm not going to lose 3 games in a row to this Demon Hunter, and that's what this Priest is doing.
That's 100% a valid way to play Last Hero Standing. Is I'm just going to bring a hate deck because I know you're going to bring Demon Hunter, so I'm going to play a class and craft a deck that is 100% chance of beating Demon Hunter. That is a smart way to play. And later,
still finding a way to push damage though. He's got Handfall down to 19, and there's Galakron.
oh, there's Galakron just to prove I don't know what I'm talking about.
That seems like
I say you go ahead and play Galakron.
Seems like a pretty good play right here. It's going to take out the 6/4. I guess the only thing that you're waiting for is maybe to see if there's a priestess that you'd rather that take out.
Sure.
Brightwing, even more dragon. Or even more legendaries, I should say. He won't necessarily give you a dragon. He could, but it will definitely give you another legendary.
Yes. It's a very confusing card that I will never remember exactly how it works until I draw it every time because I'm never playing it. I'm not going to draw it, but until it gets generated for me. So it's a weird thing in my head. I cannot grasp the idea of giving me a random legendary. I don't know why. I always think this would give me a dragon or something else. I don't know why. But
I'll tell you what, when I created my Asia account, that was one of the first legendaries I opened up, and that was in every deck I played. Because I had a whole lot of choices. So I'm intimately familiar with the Brightwing.
That's just fine. I can understand that.
JR is going to use this Twin Slice here, along with the Hero Power, to go ahead and clear off that Skeleton Dragon. The bad news is, Handball can bring one back. Oh no, he already played the Cycle Pump.
You just go ahead and play, I mean, you could do lots of things here if you wanted to.
I mean,
everything really.
Plus Brightwing.
I kind of like Vargoth and Holy Nova and just get some heals on top of clearing stuff, right? Like, unless you're planning on keeping it for clearing a big board. So
exactly, I think that's kind of what you're holding out for.
Could definitely be greedy. Ooh, and Geppetto.
Don't think
Is that
that's
good or
really gonna be
bad?
good here.
I mean, if you hadn't drawn the... Yeah, I have no idea. Because, I mean, I imagine most of this deck, most of the time you should be playing
Poor warlock.
things with taunt, and I don't think you're going to want to play Geppetto because it's more of definitely a combo card, right? So, yeah, I don't think it'll be something that we see played, but hey, who knows?
And I find it interesting, JR had a setup here for Altruis if he had really wanted to. He had a lot of cards that he could have played, but instead he's just going as wide as possible, which is, you know, not going to be received very well when Anfall wipes it out next turn, I would imagine, with whichever of the cards he opts to do so with.
Or if he just plans to use a minion and kill the 4-2, right? I mean...
We're with you.
He very well could, but I'm looking at JR being at 12 health, and you probably want to keep your minions on board if you can. That was a pickup of the Convincing Infiltrator. I imagine we probably see that plus Holy Nova, or, yep, Vargoth plus Holy Nova as well. Another choice.
Yep.
Like you said last turn, that works just fine. So yeah, I like that play because that keeps your minions on board. It represents now people in the opposite direction, and yeah, it heals you as well. So a good play there by Anfall.
Yep. No, I definitely was just looking at different options for sure. So
Yeah, definitely. And now Altruis can be played a little bit less power here. With the free cards no longer available, though he did draw Warblades off the top, which was rather awkward.
Yep.
Drawing that card this turn. So he does do enough damage to the board to take away the immediate threat of lethal. And then you just kind of have to hope. He's got no other choice here. But, yeah, there's no way that the Altruis lives through this turn here. Even if Anfall didn't have the Infinite in hand, he could just hit it with the Vargoth, but that's not even going to be necessary.
Think. Sure, why not? Oh!
Inner Fire is not lethal. No, it is lethal. Yep, if you heal the minion and then Inner Fire it. There it is. I was thinking, oh, it's only 4 damage, but now it is 6.
Yeah.
That is like we said, that's what this deck was here to do. Was to beat the Demon Hunter, and that's what it did.
Yeah, it always feels good when you target a deck and you win with it.
So we are now Demon Hunter-less for the rest of the night.
That's kind of exciting, though, right? I mean, it's something. Ooh. Hunter.
So we're going to see the Hunter, which looks like it could be Dragon.
Dragon Hunter. So this is like a res priest, though. So it's like it's like both.
Yeah, it's like a low curvy res priest, kind of.
It's like some of the fun of the res, but some of the fun of the Galakron. Like it's just like a kind of a board control-y priest.
It's a fun mix.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Why not, right?
And peanut butter and chocolate, right?
They go
Two
well
great
together.
tastes taste great together. Yeah, this is just a res list that also runs Galakron. Okay. Sure. So, I mean, you can run Galakron with the, just a couple, with actually none of the invoke cards if you want. Because it just has a great hero power, so.
Yeah, I've seen people run it with absolutely no invoke cards, or even just the 2 time rips, knowing that you're never going to get the... Well, I shouldn't say knowing that you'll never get the claw, because it does happen on occasion where you can steal cards, of course, that will allow you to invoke, or generate them randomly through Galakron's Wit. But yeah, it generally... I mean, by Galakron's Wit, I mean the other invoke cards, because obviously if you've already Galakroned it, then it's useless at that point to assume you'd ever get the weapon. But Bone Wraith is Anfall's option here, but I don't know about that. That's just going to get eaten up by this poisonous. And it still lives.
Yeah, but you got Psycho Pop next turn, right? So.
I mean, I guess you're trying to stem the tide at least a little bit as you start to see the hunter start to gain steam, and a lot of the cards in your hand are pretty heavy.
End begins.
I'm not sure I would have wanted to play. I mean, it's just gonna die to a 2/1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like last turn, it died once, and now it dies again. And then a hero power means that
Yep.
there's really no worry here whatsoever for JR. He continues to push. Now 6 more damage from the
Greetings.
I'll look for the 50-50. Or worse. It can definitely be cleared right there if we want with the Rot Nest. Just hero power and hope. Oh, not even gonna bother. Okay. It's an interesting order there, but can't really that bad like Albatross is just kind of sitting there, not looking not so great in hand. I think it's probably just okay.
Well, he's gonna
Trying to save to get the Cartoot. Give a minion reborn. Imagine trying to wait till turn 10 and Cartoot and Grave Root in the same turn. I imagine is the plan at this point, but these are not exactly what you want to see. So,
What is
I mean, you
in
probably want to
Yu's
hope that you can
will?
get, I guess, if you...
I think you just put the embalming witch roll on
why
that
not?
for sure.
Keep yourself more and more board presence, as much as you can, as you can guarantee.
Oh, okay.
Is he going to put it
think-
on the Cartoot? Does that work like that? I think you can't give something.
You can put it on the
board.
second Cartoot if it like already, but I think maybe we're just kind of getting into the territory of a little bit greedy.
Yeah.
Don't want to necessarily say it's wrong, but at some point you just gotta hope that you can. I mean, it's 5/4 is gonna keep on hitting you in the face until you do something about it. So.
Right, and like you said, having the 4/3 with Reborn would have guaranteed that to be the case.
Yep.
So we're gonna see the Cartoot comes down anyway because it has to at this point. There's really no other choice, and yeah, he's gonna hold the embalming. And maybe you just kind of hope that you do this, it dies, and then you can Katrina next turn, I guess.
Yeah, it's possible.
Is it even enough though if he Katrinas it next turn? I'm not sure.
I don't.
Soul Mirror.
It's actually really good.
That's it is.
Well, no, because it doesn't solve the problem with the imprisoned fell model. It's going to go
No.
smash your face for 5.
It's still going to hit for 5, but are you alive at 6 health next turn? Is the question. We know there's a secret in play. We know it's explosive trap. He has to assume it's explosive trap.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's not going to go face anytime soon. So
Never going face until he knows he can live through it.
Yep.
So I mean, as far as what we see, JR doesn't have an immediate way to kill Anfall. But that doesn't mean that Anfall, obviously, A, does not know that. B, doesn't mean JR's not going to draw something that will get him there. But this is, I think, the best option that he had.
Here comes 5 to face. That card does not read go face, but it seems to really only go face.
Loves it. It loves it so much.
Yeah. It's just like very impressive.
A
Stormhammer is very good. It's very, very good.
What does he have for another secret in the deck, I guess, is my question.
Well played.
I don't think he has one.
Nope, doesn't have it, doesn't need
Yep.
it.
Nope.
So mass res is probably... Nope, it's not even going to be it, because if you do that, you're dead.
Yeah,
there's just
there's
options here.
no play here. I think we're just dead.
Yeah, there's nothing that can be mass resed and then immediately killed. Yep, unfortunately for Anfall, there, you know, the deck was here to beat Demon Hunter. It was not here to beat regular Hunter.
I appreciate that joke.
I'm here for you, man.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been just an unending source of annoyance that there are 2 hunters in Hearthstone.
I know. Couldn't they have come up with a more creative name? I mean, and this is a problem that has existed before this in World of Warcraft, of course, because Demon Hunter is a class there.
And Hunter exists there as well.
Hunter has existed there since the beginning. So, yeah, I mean, couldn't you have named it something like, I don't know, Demon Stalker?
Yeah, I mean, they very much could have. I mean, thesaurus.com exists, right? So we could just, like, have gone there, type in the word hunter, and maybe have solved this problem.
You know what? These are ideas that Blizzard needs to pay us for. I'm getting paid $0 by Blizzard right now, and I think that we should be getting more money.
Yeah, I would take $1, actually. I mean, I take more as well, but
I mean, why settle? These are $1 million ideas, and I think we have earned it.
yeah, I agree 100%. And so we guess we've got a face hunter versus a demon hunter.
Well, I guess I wouldn't classify.
Not demon hunter. Sorry.
The face hunter's Anfall. No, I thought you were calling JR's face hunter. I was like, no,
no, demon hunter. No, dragon hunter. Sorry. See, we got 2 D hunters. It's very confusing. My brain just cannot handle it. Can't do it.
Well, Anfall has a decent start here. He's got the Blazing Battle Mage on 1 to play, and JR is going to coin out that Felmaw. Interesting.
I don't hate that idea at all.
I don't hate it either. I guess you could have made a case to coin out the Phase Stalker as well, and you know, if that thing lives, then you're looking pretty golden. But it would not have. It appears based on the Stone Test board draw from Anfall. And a Phase Stalker draw as well. That is a big boy. That's a 5/6.
Yeah, the 5/6 Phase Stalker on like turn 2 and 3, really difficult to handle. I'm not gonna lie. Tried it a few times. It's not gone well.
Not only that, now if he plays that this turn, he can potentially have it eat a hit from the Felmaw, kills the Felmaw, and you're still left with a 5/1 on board. So yeah, even if that opt for the Toxic Reinforcements instead.
I can see that. I think I've dropped the Phase Stalker. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is I think if you play the Toxic Reinforcements that turn, you have the intent to use your hero power. But I feel like in a board-centric matchup like this, you really want to get things on board as much as you can. So I would have liked the Phase Stalker there, personally. And instead now, the board is kind of lost.
Which is not the place you want to be in a Hunter mirror.
No, never. And I mean, JR's got a big boar that is going to hit face this turn, and it's just going to live. There's no answer in Anfall's hand. If you Phase Stalker and hero power, I guess that does progress the quest here. But even then, it's only going to kill the 5/2.
You can't Phase Stalker and... Or just in hero power, gotcha. So in my head, I was thinking Dwarven Sharpshooter hero power because of 5/2. But the 5/2, it'll get cleared with the explosive trap, so...
Yeah, so I think assuming that the explosive trap's the only traps in your deck, which makes sense for Space Hunter. Maybe a misdirection, but Phase Stalker is the play. Here it comes. There goes the hero power. And hello, explosive trap.
Oh, surprise! It's an explosive trap.
Smart play by JR there to trade in first.
Very smart play there. Yep.
Correct ordering, eats the explosive trap, minions stay alive, and Dragon Hunter here is outfacing the Phase Hunter.
Which, I mean, can happen sometimes, but it's definitely not, I think, why you bring the Phase Hunter.
And he's going to hold on to the tracking till the very end of the turn, which I like here to make sure that he doesn't accidentally put a secret into that pool. And what do you like here? Probably Corrosive Breath, or maybe the Primordial Explorer?
I guess the Dragon Hunter's favored here. I didn't even realize that. Sorry.
Yeah, it's aggressive but sturdier than the Phase Hunter is.
Yeah. In my head, Phase Hunter was because usually the faster hunter wins, and apparently not. in this case.
Dragon
So
Hunter does enough of what Face Hunter does, with the upside of your minions not immediately dying most of the time.
yep.
And now we've entered that phase of the game where the Face Hunter starts to do things to the board, which is not where you like to be.
So you tell me it's not called Board Hunter? Okay, okay.
All your
A
things
bit of
are
a surprise.
mostly die. And the Face Hunter does, Anval does pick up the completion of the quest there. An Explosive Trap will, I guess he is getting JR into dangerous territory now.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is kind of becoming a bit of a race at this point here.
I think you just keep on going face.
JR knows this is a race
Yep.
at this point. He thought about playing that Primordial Explorer and would have just died to every single one of those cool golden lepers. And
They'll actually do more damage to your face if those golden lepers have something to trade into. So.
And I assume here, no other traps in deck, so you don't really care about, hero powering first and get that Dragon Bait down and do 5 damage. And does JR have enough burst to get there? He's got to do it this turn. Well, tracking will help.
Find that Leroy. Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
Those are not the cards.
No, he's already got one of them.
Not the droids he was looking for.
So I think the question here is left Battle Mage or right Battle Mage? We world will never know which he picked.
And those are all...
those are playable. And
no.
Dragon Hunter's favored. The Face Hunter got there.
Yeah. Faster Hunter. Like I said, in my highly educated state of just confusion. My brain is not caught up from the JR Junior Jose JR Juggerlaw confusion from the beginning of the match.
That's a while ago too. If you're still struggling with that, I don't know.
It's just so confused. I was so confused.
Well, we are going to Game 5 is that same Face Hunter versus a Rogue of Unknown Origin here for JR, and well, it's got Gala in it. That's not surprising.
Is it a Rogue of Unknown Origin? I mean, there's pretty much Galakrond Rogue, and then that other Rogue that's worse than Galakrond Rogue that does the same things but worse.
Well, there's Highlander.
Right? That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't know if it's Highlander or not yet, but JR doesn't have anything to drop on one. You'd love to see a Pharaoh Cat, especially knowing that your opponent's a Face Hunter.
Oh, we're gonna put down that Felmaw again.
See, I like playing Stalker there instead.
Well, I think the Face Stalker just dies, right? To seal face? Well, I guess it doesn't because they don't have the coin. So yeah, I think I definitely like the Face Stalker. No, yeah, I'm with you there.
I mean, it dies to backstab plus dagger, but if that's the case, I mean, you say, all right, go ahead and invest.
Sweet.
Yeah, go ahead and invest that, because now you play it, and yes, it dies to seal face.
Yes, now it dies. Mm-hmm.
Which, well, there's the backstab anyway. So now JR gets to play Choose How I Kill This. Every Hearthstone player's favorite game. Look at all the choices I have, and he's going to play the Miscreant, which I think is exactly the right play.
Yes. Give me some 1/1s that do awesome things. Excuse me, hiccups. Wow.
Felmaw not going face. What is this?
That's a fail maw is what that is.
Oh, I love it.
I just got shushed by my son again.
Probably because of the joke, not because of the laugh.
It's like, oh, boo, Dad.
Seal Fate will come down on the Sharpshooter, and now JR wonders, how do I get rid of that 5/3? Faces lacking. Ooh, Juggler.
Whoa. Okay. He's gonna choose to use that Juggler at a time of his own choosing. I like that.
I mean, that I think the play makes sense because there's definitely a little bit of, not desperation at this point. I mean, you don't want to get too far behind this game knowing you're a class that really doesn't heal. You run minimal taunts, so yep, that might be your only option. No,
I think it was a good play. I think it's the right one because you're generating lackeys. Lackeys are cheap.
Well, with Heist
Knife Juggler does good things with cheap.
Though, would you have wanted to maybe Shadow Step the 1/1 so that way you had a guaranteed Togwaggle on 6, or do you think, well, maybe I'm just dead by then?
I think maybe I'm just dead by then, right? Like, I don't think against like hunter I'm ever looking to. I'm not looking ahead to high spare, which maybe is a my
Like a
problem.
last resort, yeah.
Yeah, so you gonna face tank this?
No, he's in double Galakron.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see the double Great Galakron there. Nice.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
praise for him. He drew the second Galakron, second praise Galakron off the top there, which enabled that play, and now he has just every lackey available except for the Witchy. He's not me, so that's why he doesn't have
Let's talk about that. So we got Shooty, we got Rush, we got 2 drop.
Literally, yeah, 2 dragons, and then 1 of everything
Yep.
else.
Sure, why not?
So wondering here, Anfall knows that obviously a hero power, as you know, it still progresses your game plan, is not going to draw another secret out of the deck because it's only explosives. And Eagle Horn Bow, though, that's more damage. Why not push it in?
Yeah, I mean,
He's got the kill command in hand. He's got Dragon's Bane in hand. He's got Arcane Shot. So he does have
there's a lot of
damage.
A lot of. Yep. I am not sure that JR Juggerlaw's got a lot of. Not.
I mean, he he hung on to the Knife Juggler for, I presume, this very specific reason. The question I think he's debating is, do I attack face first? But I think
you do.
I think you don't attack face at all.
Oh, why bother, right? Yeah, I'm there with you there for sure. Yeah.
You're not going to win by attacking over the next few turns. You're going to win by finding your Galakron, which he's doing with Bronx, and just really hoping that to use his dagger there to go ahead and kill the Phase Stalker. But is this lethal? 5 damage, 10 the kill command. Yeah, this is lethal. Kill command plus Arcane Shot does it.
And Face Hunter went face.
Face Hunter went face. It is the place, and that is the series. As Anfall was down 2 at one point and came back to win 3-2, which that's what we see a lot in the last Hero Standing series.
Yep. It happens more often than not.
Yeah, it's either sweep or 3-2 a lot of the time because you lose that initial matchup and then you don't have a counter for that deck, and then all of a sudden you're just
dead.
thrown out of the game. But this is the opposite case where things just went back and forth, and Anfall managed to pick up the unfavored there and gets to the finish line.
Wow, that was a quick night. I'm not gonna lie with you. Not lie to you. That was. I'm also not gonna lie with you because social distancing and stuff. But
you should not. Yeah.
But that I don't think we've ever had a night go that quickly before. So
no.
Cool. Fun, a bunch of free time. It's kind of exciting.
Do you want to get Anfall in here for a short little interview?
Of course, I think we definitely do.
All right. Well, let's get him in the chat. I don't need him to friend me. I'm already friends with him. I'm just straight up invite him. I just messaged him out of courtesy.
I just want to send him like it's a random invitation to the call.
Oh yeah, no. He said just need to turn. He said you need to turn Do Not Disturb off Discord, and I said whatever. I'm disturbing you anyway. He's in here. We just need to know if he can hear us.
I can. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, my friend. Congratulations. You were down 2-1. Good comeback there to win at 3-2. How you feeling right now?
Feeling good about Face Hunter now.
I would think so.
So
wasn't so sure there for a while in that Hunter mirror how good you were going to feel about it, but it got there in the end, so good work.
Yeah, that was definitely a closer one than I wanted.
Yeah, we were talking about that because, I mean, if you look at the stats, Dragon Hunter is favored. And, one of the things we were talking about is the sturdier minions there. Dragon Hunter, if they can establish board quickly, can often just kind of take you out of the game. But you found the line and managed to get enough damage in there to pressure him, which I thought was very impressive. So what were your thoughts going through that game there during the Hunter Mirror?
Pretty much just win before he can have minions too big for me to handle.
Yeah, that's good. Yes,
I mean,
that is the correct line of play for Face Hunter. Yes, 100%.
Rarely does doing damage to them before they damage you turn out poorly. So that's good. They were like, let's talk about the priest a little bit. So that was like a res priest kind of hybrid, a lot of just taunts to get in the way of stuff. How much of that was to combat Demon Hunter?
That was the main thing, and yeah, that was pretty much for that one. And if he brought Face Hunter,
Sure.
Right, which he did not, of course, but still, yeah. I mean, the priest almost still got there. You had a couple turns at the end there where it just kind of got out of control. But I think if you could have lasted like one or two more turns, you probably would have been able to turn it around. So it did its job nonetheless, as it did get by that Demon Hunter.
it did. That Demon Hunter mirror was not ideal for me.
No. That's kind of how Demon Hunter mirrors can go, though.
Yeah, sometimes those cards just don't end up in the right spot of your hand, and you drew a lot of clunky stuff too, so that was kind of unfortunate, and he did not. But still, congratulations nonetheless. So this is Licensed to Illidan's first win of the season. Now 1-1. You knew that going into the game, of course, but picking up 4 more points for the team is pretty important. So that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, especially this early on to be able to, start that comeback now. Wasn't a great week the first week.
Yeah, it's a long season, but you don't want to wait till like week 6 or 7 to start making the climb if you can avoid it. So yeah, it's good to get back into the swing of things. All right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, any other questions, Dano?
I'm not. I'm still not recovered from the Jose Jr. Juggerlaw incident from the beginning of the match. So,
Paul has no idea what we're talking about. Because he wasn't listening to the cast.
I'll have to catch that on the VOD.
Yeah, there was some panic in the first game of your series, which
very confused. I was very confused.
it had nothing to do with you whatsoever. So don't you worry about that. But
I was wondering why there was only one person spectating me for a little while.
Yes, that will all be explained if you go back and watch the VOD. Far too long to explain here, but we'll give you the floor. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Follow and subscribe to the Twitch channel.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Do that. Yes. Smart man.
Speaking of the Twitch channel, this very channel will be hosting more matches tomorrow night. Sunday, starting at 8 p.m. Sorry, I almost said 9 p.m. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. There's 3 matches tomorrow night. Ron Mexico,
outstanding.
Yeah, really, really outstanding. Ron Mexico versus Heat Shock in Hero. Tweeg versus ESO Glocta in Pro at 9, and then 10 o'clock. This is all fuzzy timeline, but in this order at least, the Big Ted versus Medusas in Hero. So chock full of matches for you guys tomorrow evening, and I'm sure at least a few of those will be impactful in their series. So definitely feel free to tune into that. Monday evening, we have a Final Four matchup coming at you for the April Absurdity March Madness Mayhem tournament, whatever you want to call it now. Yeah, we're all
Mayhem's definitely the correct answer.
I guess I got to change the channel name in the Discord now, but that one is it's Ridiculous Hat, and I forget who he's playing off the top of my head. I have the bracket. I can look it up real quick. But yeah, it's our first Final Four, so it'll be the winner of Ridiculous Hat versus Heat Shock. That same Heat Shock we will see tomorrow. He'll be playing as well. The winner of that goes to the finals. So yeah, we're finally getting towards the end of this bracket. Avi versus Liquidox ended in a sweep, with Avi going to the Final Four today. So we've got 3 members of the Final Four. We're waiting on Ego versus Catman to see who advances to face Avi, and then those will be our Final 4 players in the tournament. So exciting times there. So
and then is Wild and Out also starting on Monday?
Yes, Wild and Out is also starting on Monday. Yeah, the match is later in the evening. It's I think 10 or 11 p.m. So get permission from your significant other to stay up late and watch some THL content. Put it on your TV, nice and big, so you can hear us, say silly things and figure out why we can't spectate the players.
Yep. And sometimes we'll also forget to switch over the slide, and so you can listen to the match on your big screen.
Yeah, that happened as well. You mean your big radio? Yeah, your big radio.
We're professionals, Donde. We're
Completely
professionals.
Well, Anfall, thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you to all the players who showed up on stream as well. Always appreciate everyone donating their time to the cause. Dano, thank you for being here with me this evening.
Happy to do it. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So we will be signing off, and make sure, like I said, to tune back in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we will bring you 3 more matches. Saku's better at stream mopping than me, so you shouldn't see any technical difficulties there, so that's good. All right, everybody. Have a great evening. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you tomorrow.